Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
Hi, my name is Jeremy Culver. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. Talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school, I would encourage you to come out here in the industrial park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
also by
Electricity makes our everyday lives more convenient. We all know it costs more to fill your gas tank, buy prescriptions, and even go to the doctor. In the last decade, gasoline costs rose 11% every year. A dozen eggs increased in cost nearly 8%. Your electricity? It only rose on average less than 5% each year. Your local electric cooperative works hard to keep your electric service safe, affordable, and reliable. Discover the power of your co-op membership.
and by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
as well as by
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you.
Coming up on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, we're going to share with you the love of restoring boats. And we're going to take you on a photographic journey through the eyes of a local photographer. And if you're going to do any crawling, then you need a place to stay. We're going to take you to Two Moms Campground.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake!
This is Living Grand
on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Welcome to Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Royal Ailes, our show host, Christy Wallace. She'll be back next week. We're coming to you from Bookham's Restaurant in the heart of Southwind Marina along the shores of Grand Lake near Bernice, Oklahoma. And if you're a boat owner and love to take your boat out on the water as often as you possibly can, well then you're going to enjoy this next story. You don't see many wooden crafts on the water these days, not because they're not seaworthy, only because it takes a lot of money and tender love and care. Well, if you're thinking of restoring one this summer, then you need to talk to Brent Howard. He's a local collector, but he's also a guy who can restore them and bring them back to their original glory.
Well, Dad was in the Navy in World War II, and my grandfather kind of looked after me. So when I was about 6 or 7, he had me out in his workshop. And Granddaddy Adams was a carpenter for the Fishkill Railroad, and he did all the neat interior work on the Pullman cars, all the inlays and everything. So I really had a good teacher. So as I grew up, well, I got in Boy Scouts and we did woodwork, and so it's just kind of been a hobby of mine for ever since. Well, I had several businesses. I was in the banking business. I owned real estate companies, residential and commercial, and did some developing, did some construction, office buildings. So I kind of moved around. My creative juices, always wanted to be doing something else. And so when I retired from a couple of those businesses and came to the lake and full time, I had a house up here for 40 years. But I got interested in wood boats, and so I bought a shop in Langley and started working on just my stuff. And then people came by and said, well, hey, would you do something for me? And carpenters came by and said, well, I'm tired of building boxes. I'd like to work on boats. And so from about 99 on, it just evolved. You know, we outgrew that shop, so I built a new shop and hired a couple of more people. And so that's where we are today. Grand Lake had 2 Chris-Craft dealerships on it when the dam opened up back in 41, 42. So they sold a ton of wood boats on this lake. They're just all over the place. Some of them are deep sixed, of course, but that was a big start of the wood boats on Grand Lake. We have a Heartland Classic Boat Club. We got about 100 or so members in 5 states, and we put on boat shows at Arrowhead Marina, and we'll have maybe 50 boats there, and 2,000 or 3,000 people come. And we have visitors up here from like 5 states and members from 5 states that all congregate. And in February, we have a wood boat workshop here, and we'll have maybe 50 people from all the same area will come in, and we'll demonstrate how to do varnish or steam bend planks or that type of thing. So a lot of involvement with wood boats on the lake. There's a lot of nostalgia, a lot of history involved. Besides being able to do something with my hands, every boat is totally different. You'll have different parts need to be fixed, or they need a total refinish, or they need engines. I like the fact that there's all these pieces that you get to work on, and occasionally you get to do a boat where you do everything, and then that, of course, is really fun. We have a couple of younger people that I'm teaching them, so that there'll be people that can do this in the future. Back in the day, you know, like in the late 20s and 30s when the wood boats came on the scene, that was the only boats there were. So that began an evolution, and the factories built the boats to last about 12 to 15 years. That was the early planned obsolescence, because they thought, you know, that'll wear out and they'll come back and buy another one. Well, I've got a 1931 Elco that's still in good shape, so they misgauged that. It's kind of bringing history back. It's like, you know, restoring an antique or a classic car, same thing with an airplane. It's just something that you get a love for and you like to do it, and there are a lot of people that enjoy them. Well, Namacy 5 is Iceman backwards. That's the name of the boat. The owner of this boat's father had 2 or 3 boats, and it was Namacy 1, 2, 3, so he continued the tradition. And it's a 1950 22-foot Chris-Craft custom sedan, which is pretty rare. It's like a runabout, but it's got a hard top cover. And he brought it to us and wanted us to restore it back to its original glory. So we replaced wood and refinished it and rebuilt the engine. We just now, last week, replaced in the boat. New custom interior, new hard top vinyl. So we've done about everything you can. I do it because I love it. It's not a money-making business. That's a good feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but you just feel really good when you look around.
Now that's a master craftsman. When we return, we're going to take a look at the lake through the eyes of a photographer. But before we do, here's some fun in the sun.
Hello, I'm Brian Ruth, publisher of the Chronicle of Grand Lake, and this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Colbert. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. Talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school, I would encourage you to come out here in Industrial Park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
Hello, our safety tip for today is what we're required to have in our vessel. Number one is a life jacket for every passenger in the boat. Make sure it fits everyone, and we have one for everybody that's going to be with us for that day. Another required item is a throw cushion, a simple device that we can throw to somebody that's in trouble in the water. If we are to have trouble on the water with our vessel, we are to have a simple paddle that would help us get to the shoreline or help us to get to a dock so we can wait for help. Along those lines, if we can't paddle to safety, we're required to have an anchor. We can simply throw this out and just wait for somebody to come and help us. If our vessel is to take on water, one of the required things to have is some type of a bailing device. It could be a simple bucket, an ice chest, or anything that we can use to bail water out of the boat if it begins taking on water. Another thing we always want to keep in the vessel is a fire extinguisher. Make sure that you inspect these periodically to make sure that they are up to date and ready to go. Another item required to have on our vessel is a horn or a whistle. This gives us a way to signal if we need help. Last on our list of the required items to have on our vessel is properly working nighttime navigation lights. Have a safe day on the water.
Time for the Grand Lake Chronicles events page. Here's what's happening on and around Grand Lake. Jana Jay and the Grand Lake Festivals once again host the American Heritage Music Festival of 2015 in Grove. This event runs from June 11th through the 13th at Snyder's Camp and the Grove Civic Center. This awesome annual Grand Lake event includes the Grand Lake National Fiddle Fest, the Grand Lake National Clogging Contest with a $1,000 grand prize for each, plus 80 other cash prizes. On June 13th, the Cancer Survivors Crawl will take place in Disney. This rock climbing event is a wonderful event for everyone to see or to participate in. For more information, go online to SMARTIN1050 at sktc.net. And on June 27th, Miami's Route 66 Cruise Night will be held in late afternoon to early evening at Wayland's Cuckoo Drive-In. This Grand Lake event is hosted by Rebel Car Club. Cruise owners are invited to participate, and visitors are welcome to take a trip on Route 66. For more information, call 918-542-9693. Welcome back to Mid-America Industrial Parks, Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Royal Ailes. Still photography is just simply the art of capturing the moment. David Wagenblatt bought a camera for his business, but found that there is a love for the process.
I keep telling people it'll add years to your life. You just relax. The further you get away from the major city, the more relaxed you're going to get. I came up here as a kid. My father's company had a place here on Monkey Island that had, I think it was 11 cabins and a house. And we came up here every weekend, go fishing. You know how kids are. We just have a great time. I worked in Tulsa for a long time in the heat exchanger industry. A sales engineer for Yuba Heat Transfer was one of them, and Western Supply when they were in business. From there, I went as a national sales manager up to a company that made specialty tubing. for the same industry again, and I did some of that as a national sales manager for them before I came back to Oklahoma. I got into some real estate business. Then I bought a camera to do the real estate business here, and I started doing some other things. And I started posting on Facebook, and I found that people really liked what I was doing. A lot of people said, well, you have an eye for this. Well, the more I thought about this, the more I started doing it, and I just found it was so fascinating. There's so much to learn about it. It's a lot more technical than people think it is, and it's something you can learn for a lifetime. And you don't have to be perfect at it. It's what you see. And there's so many different perspectives. And every day is different. I got lucky with the first couple of my first shots that I caught a sunrise with everything in this wonderful, wonderful different colors of the reds and the oranges and the yellows that come across, along with clouds that gave you a lot of contrast and depth of field, I guess is what you can say, on those things. They came together. And I didn't realize that doesn't happen every day. So I went back out the next day, I'm going to do this again. And it was months before I saw something similar to that I could capture and put on there. Then I learned how to edit and do some things and compose a picture, and then the wildlife. I discovered it, and I didn't know this when I first came to Grand Lake, but eagles winter here. I'll get pictures of foxes, skunks, if you want to see a skunk, possums, deer, eagles, hawks, osprey, even fish jumping. I'll get pictures out here of the bass tournaments going on, the national bass tournaments, and people, things that you just don't see every day. Now there are times where I plan ahead more than I did then, and I'm really looking for the lighting that's going to come, and I like that, what photographers call that hour of magic, both in the morning and in the evening, where you have better light that really brings your subjects out better when you're taking a photo. And I will look, even when I'm driving down the road, I'll see things that looks like a good shot, and I'll keep a mental picture of that. And I have an app on my phone, and I'll look and see when the sun's going to be best to do something like that, and I'll go back and I'll plan ahead. Now, what I'm mostly trying to capture is that feeling, especially in the morning, when there's quiet and you hear nothing but the birds. You might hear a fish jumping over here. You're at one with nature. You really get lost within yourself. It's a way for you to take the lake home with you. It's a way to bring the outdoors inside. And especially if it's something that you're familiar with, and Grand Lake is one of Oklahoma's best kept secrets. It's a special place.
Now, David has become a true artist. To find out more about him and his works, look him up on Facebook. Now, stay tuned. 2 moms at a campground. But before we go, here's some fun in the sun.
Hi, I'm Tony Coatney from Shangri-La Guide Service. This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA Electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
You two look happy? Is there anything else I can get for you? Okay.
Cherokee Casino and Hotel, West Siloam Springs. The feeling stays with you.
Welcome back to Mid-America Industrial Parks, Living Grand on Grand Lake. Well, two close friends, Melissa and Shelley, would often come to Grand Lake, particularly to Disney, for camping and to rock crawl. One day, an opportunity of a lifetime opened up for them to own some property at Disney Island. Their vision was to own a family-oriented campsite near all of the attractions. Well, their vision finally came true, and now you can set up camp at Two Moms Campground. Take a look.
I grew up camping, yes, setting on the river down in Missouri on 11 Point. And yeah, we stayed in tents and slept in sleeping bags and things like that. 5 years ago, some friends of ours said, hey, let's go down and check out Disney. We heard there's a really great off-road park down there. And so we came down 5 years ago, last fall, and was just shocked and awed at the off-road and the rock crawling down here. It was nothing like Kansas has. And my neck of the woods of Arkansas, Missouri, I mean, I grew up as a logger's daughter, so we were used to the logging trails and things like that, but nothing like the phenomenal rocks in the spillway that are here. And I'm a boater also, so to me it was like a double perk. I get to bring my boat and be on the water, and it's beautiful, beautiful water, beautiful lake. And then I get to play on the rocks also. So for me, it's the best of both worlds. My best friend and I bought the place a year ago, March 28th. And we were partners in it, and I had a vision to expand, and my husband and I want to retire here. And my best friend, Melissa, she says, this is a lot of fun, but I can't imagine doing it full time. And she asked me to buy her out last August, and so I did. But the name is, she's still my best friend. She still comes here with me. The name is there. It'll always be Two Moms. I teased my husband. I said, well, now you're another mom. We were actually planning on just making it a private campground just for our group. And the more I got to thinking about it, I thought, there's so many wheelers and there's so little places to stay. And so we'll open it up to the public. And we started with 6 cabins and some RV sites, and we kind of learned our lesson with our hill, and RVs don't really function real well going straight down and straight up. And so we removed the RV sites and built more cabins this past winter, and it's just been a great learning experience. And really, I mean, we cater to the off-roaders. It's more their cup of tea. I tell everyone, we don't have the Taj Mahal, we don't even have the Motel 6, but we have exactly what these people would like. They're pretty rustic. We took carport buildings, we had them spray foam insulated, and so they're sealed, and they have like an R factor of 64 or something like that. And then we painted the foam and put beds in them and mini fridges and a coffee pot, and so they're pretty rustic. That's why I said definitely not the Ritz-Carlton, but they're exactly what an off-roader or someone that likes doing what we do. All you care about is a comfortable bed and some cold AC and a bonfire at the end of the night. You will see families out here wheeling with children in car seats, and all the way up to 80 and 90-year-old retirees that have built a crawler and come here. So it's actually all ages in the off-road industry. As far as camping, my kids like to set stuff on fire. And so anything that includes a campfire and getting to roast some hot dogs or marshmallows and just the sense of family. I mean, we're all a big family here. There's some of them I've known decades, and others I've just known a few months. We knew what we liked, and we knew how we liked to be treated. And that's part of the reason why it's Two Moms. Whenever you come here, you kind of get taken care of. If you need a meal, we're gonna feed you. If you forget your bedding, we're gonna make sure you got it, or an extra pillow. If somebody breaks something and needs to run to the parts store, one of us will take you. And so really, I knew that there was a few of us that would like this idea. I didn't realize just how many hundreds of people would like what we're doing. And I'm just highly flattered that people want to stay with us. This is relaxing, believe it or not. I mean, I'm kind of spoilt. I stay in my fifth wheel and not a tent, but it's just the fact of, like I said, the community, the fellowship, being able to sit around a campfire and swap stories and razz each other about the events that's happened during the day, and all ages. Like I said, we bring our kids and grandkids, and that's just what we do.
Two Moms Campground is open for business, ready to take your reservations anytime. Well, that's it for this edition of Mid-America Industrial Parks Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Royal Ailes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week with another edition of Mid-America Industrial Parks Living Grand on Grand Lake. Bye-bye.
Mid-America's Industrial Parks Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
Hi, my name is Jeremy Colbert. I am the Vice President of Ray Corporation, located here in the Mid-American Industrial Park. From the farm kid growing up on a farm in Gage, Oklahoma, never would imagine myself sitting here today. 12 years ago, when I first got out of school and was looking to enter the workforce, when I thought of industrial, I thought of probably like most people, that just a dirty workplace. You know, after being in the industry for, I guess, going on 15 years now, I've learned that it's anything but that. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's exciting. Talking to high school kids who are trying to decide what they want to do when they first got out of high school, I would encourage you to come out here in Industrial Park. One, you're going to have an opportunity not only to make more money, but you're going to have the opportunity to have a career. It's been a great opportunity for me and my family. The Mid-American Industrial Park is creating careers and changing lives.
Also by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
Plus by
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA Electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you.